Hey guys, here I am live on my bedroom floor yet again, and wanted to share with you a little bit about why I started as a coach and also how I handled the biggest objection that I had when I joined, thinking that it wasn't going to work for me. So, I've been a coach now or on this journey for a little over 5 years. I originally joined with Megan after doing a 2-week free clean eating group. Maybe some of you were even in that group with me and I don't remember. But if you could go back in the comments after you watch this and let us know if you started from a free group. I'm so interested to hear whether or not it was Megan or I or Vicky or Kathy or whoever that invited you. I'm just curious if you started in a free group as well, because don't you dare underestimate the power of a free group. For me, as a super skeptical person who had tried everything from Weight Watchers to Atkins to my Fitness Pal counting calories and lean cuisines and Diet Coke and Slim Fast, I was like, I'm pretty sure I would have heard of this by now if it's something that worked. And I never heard of 21 Day Fix or Shakeology. And so I thought, well, if this is something that's really that amazing, how come I've never heard of it? But that's not how I joined. I joined just learning about clean eating. And when I learned how I could be eating all these foods I thought I couldn't. I didn't think I was allowed to eat too much fruit because that's too much sugar and carbs, and just in general I didn't know what to do. I thought that you had to count calories. Turns out when I look at the nutrition label, I shouldn't really, or don't have to look at the calories. So I learned so much through that. I didn't really know Megan back then, but that's how she really gained my trust, and I ended up getting to know her through that group because it was fun. And then from there on out, a lot of people don't realize that because we're such great friends now. People just thought that that's how we've always been. And so many of you have lived that and learned that you end up making such good friends through this community, and that's really not even the reason you join. Some people do, but that's not why I joined, but I sure am glad that that's been an outcome. But yeah, I joined with 21 Day Fix, totally thought I would be returning the Shakeology because I already knew about Special K protein shakes and Slim Fast, and surely it was the same thing. Wrong. So after my first 3 weeks of 21 Day Fix, I had lost 8 pounds. It was about the time for my next Shakeology to ship, and Megan asked me if I wanted a discount. And so I went from thinking I was going to return it all to signing up for the discount. Shortly thereafter, I did another round of 21 Day Fix. This was before Beachbody On Demand. So, I just kept doing round after round until I decided to start with 21 Day Fix Extreme. So I had to buy that program. Thank God for Beachbody On Demand. And I ended up losing a little over 20 pounds. At that time, I was a teacher, still am a teacher full-time, but my kids were younger. Lily was only 3 and Cody would have been like 7. No, 6 probably. So anyways, I was a busy mom. I'm the president of our Teachers Association. I am a full-time teacher. I taught Sunday school at our church. At that time, my husband worked different hours. Sometimes he worked weekends. It was a lot, just like a lot of you guys, we're always busy. And I thought there's no way that I could add on this coaching thing. I just wanted the discount. But then what happened is, like I said, I had such great results, and people at work were noticing and asking me what I was doing. And I just told them, and they saw my containers at lunch, and that I was drinking my shake sometimes in the morning or after school as a snack, and that I had lost enough weight that people were starting to notice. So that's when I was like, and I wonder if I can do this. So I asked Megan about it. She, at the time, there was like a 14-day training that you could pace yourself through. And now we have something very similar to it. That's a self-guided training and just videos to watch. And so I would do that after the kids would go to bed. I would, instead of plopping on my recliner and watching DVR'd Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives or Teen Mom and eating ice cream, I would watch those videos. I just did a little bit at a time until I was done, and I had learned enough to get started. I also knew that the way I started was with a free clean eating group, so that's what I decided to do to launch my business. And I made a post on Facebook. I also made a post showing my before and after results, which I was petrified to do. I basically posted and ran away from my phone and didn't check for a very long time. But then when I finally did, the comments and the support was amazing. And yeah, then I decided I was going to do a free group. I was going to do exactly what Megan did. I literally went back and copied and pasted what she was posting, but then, I would respond with what I had learned. I didn't know that I could just ask Megan and she could send me the script to what it was. I just thought, well, this is what she did. I loved that group. I learned so much. I'm going to do it too. And that's what I did. And I kept running those. But after I ran my very first free group, I had, I think, at least 1 or 2 people that wanted to join me based on that group. So to me, I called that a success. I had earned pretty much my whole investment back right there. And then after I posted my before and afters, I had a ton of people from there, and I had a really successful start. Time was my biggest objection. That, along with I didn't think I knew what to do, but since I had already learned so much through the groups that I was in, that objection was starting to fade away because I was learning a lot, and I realized the answers are all in what you're given. They're all like on the Beachbody site, or like at the time when I got 21 Day Fix, I was given the nutrition guide and it told me everything. That was even before Ultimate Portion Fix with like the actual nutrition course. But I knew that if I didn't know the answer, I could find the answer because obviously I had learned a lot, enough to lose the weight. I was just doing what the experts were telling me to do. And so all I had to do was help people to do that just like what I did. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing then was like, will I have enough time? I was off for the summer, but with 2 little kids, it doesn't mean I was sitting on my phone all day working. So what made the biggest difference for me when I started was 2 things. One was pockets of time. So I would get up before my kids. That's when I would get my workout done, and I would do whatever work I could before they got up. And then if they took a nap or had rest time in that afternoon, I would do a little more. In the past, I would use that time to relax myself, sometimes take a nap, watch TV, scroll Pinterest mindlessly, and that's about it. So instead, I use that time to work my business then. And then again after they would go to bed. Most of the times though, I could get a lot done during that time. So after they went to bed, I did have time to just relax, hang out with my husband, watch TV, whatever. But sometimes I would use that time as well. As long as my work was done, awesome. What was the work? Well, that's what I loved because I'm a person who loves a to-do list. I love a scope and sequence as a teacher. I like a schedule. I like to know what's coming. We have that. We have a tracker, and it tells you exactly what to do every day. One of the trackers I loved when I first started was called the Power of Threes. And so I knew that I had to do 3 of everything. So my goal was to try to invite 3 people every day, add 3 people to my network, start 3 new conversations, comment on 3 people's stuff. Like everything was in 3s. Back then too, I posted 3 times a day, usually a quote, and then maybe 2 others were like pictures. I didn't have Instagram back then. I only had Facebook. Stories wasn't a thing back then either. So I've had to learn and change with the times. But starting with that foundation of always running a free group to invite to, because it's easy to invite to something that's free. I loved the free group. It worked for me. So I didn't feel weird about inviting to that. So that's what I would do. Every month I would offer a free group. Sometimes it was the same thing. Sometimes it was different. And then from there, it was really easy to be like, all right, if you loved this group, I'd love to tell you about another group I have coming on that involves a little bit more structure to it. And people would be like, sure, tell me about it. And that's how I would do it. So that combined with the power of threes, just always thinking to myself, okay, I can't do it all, but I can do three. I can add three. I can find three people. So when I thought about it in terms of that, that made that whole time objection kind of go away because I had time for three. So as long as I did three of each thing each day, I felt good about that. And some days I was able to do even more than three. And then on the days when I didn't, then the next day I'd go, okay, I didn't do it yesterday, so today I'm going to try to do six instead. And just keeping that mindset so I didn't get overwhelmed and I never really did think I don't have enough time. I can make the time because I think it's important. That was huge for me. So did it take some work? Yeah. Did it take creating a schedule and kind of knowing what I was doing each day? Yeah, I mean, the schedule's kind of already made for you. You just follow it. And so it became a habit just like everything else. And I just grew from there depending on what my goals were. And that's really how I busted through that whole objection of I just don't have the time. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, please go back and comment. I am super curious to know, how did you get started? Was it through a free group? It might be helpful to know too, because I know a lot of people are worried about inviting and like sounding salesy. I would love to hear from you if you felt that way. I'm guessing you probably didn't if you ended up joining. And then maybe any kind of doubt or question you still have. Is it the time factor? Is it something else that we can help you with and let you know how we've kind of handled that in our business? So thanks for watching. Go back and comment and have a great night, guys.